Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So, taking a fun and exciting video for you guys today because we're taking a look at the recently ported over to PlayStation Vita Star Fox 64, more specifically the Starship PC port from Harbour Masters. And suddenly the PlayStation Vita seems to be getting a ton of these N64 ports. We have Animal Crossing, which technically being a GameCube game, came out on N64. We have Super Mario 64 as Ghost Ship recently, and now we have Star Fox 64 as well. And even if some of the Vita videos haven't done as well as I wanted them to, I'm really trying to make more Vita content stick because I absolutely love the platform and would love to make videos on it in the future. In the meantime, getting something like an N64 PC port brought down to Vita, absolutely fun, because I will say, if you have the original OLED model, this thing looks absolutely gorgeous running on that, but of course, can't really capture that for a video. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. But what can you say about Star Fox 64? It was an iconic game when it came out on N64. It was amazing to get both an N64 PC port as well as a static recomp of Star Fox 64. And now that that PC port source code exists, you can basically take it and port it to any platform you want. It seems like the Vita keeps getting these ports, which is absolutely outstanding because as much as I've loved the platform and it does have a great library, it's one of those things. Sony basically pretended it didn't exist for the back half of its life, so getting extra games, especially made by fans, is always going to be a good time. And with the overall Vita control layout, I would say it's absolutely an exceptional experience playing this game on real Vita hardware or PlayStation TV if you have one as well, because I can't recommend those enough. Although sadly the price on those has gone absolutely wild lately. When I picked mine up, I think I paid $25 for it, new in box, never used on Amazon, when they're basically all going closeout deals. But as far as a port of Star Fox 64 over to the Vita is concerned, this is exceptional. Playing around with it, and Anime Phoenix, one of the members of my Discord, helping me capture footage because he has a modded Vita that can get some video out. It absolutely just feels like Star Fox 64. It performs exactly how you would expect it to, and it is just a fun experience all around. Because that is the thing about all these N64 recomps and PC ports. They have to run every bit as good, if not better, than the original. They really don't justify their place in retro gaming, and honestly, every one of these PC ports, it just been a straight up 10 out of 10. And unless it happened that I missed it, hopefully soon, Ship to Harkinian and 2 Ship to Harkinian come out for the Vita as well, because I want to play the Ocarina of Time PC port and the Majora's Mask PC port on my Vita as well. Just such a fun platform to play around with. And as we get past the first boss here, all the latency in the controls feels absolutely exceptional. This port over to the Vita really feels like something that could have come out back in the day had Nintendo decided to release some old games for competitors' hardware. Now we know Nintendo's definitely not going to do that, but if they had, I feel like it would have been an exceptional fit for the Vita. Although let's be real, fans do a better job of porting Nintendo games than Nintendo themselves do. Now moving into the second area here, you will see that this obviously runs at a higher internal running resolution than of course the N64 version of the game did. You're not going to be able to bump it as far on something like the Vita versus a PC because of course, even though the Vita was impressive hardware back in the day, it isn't going to live up to even the cheapest modern CPU and GPU at this point in time. That's just how quick tech marches on, and the reality is, the Vita really isn't all that new. This thing came out a while ago, and even though it was impressive back then, it was kind of a mobile chipset, kind of feeling like a really impressive cell phone graphics and CPU, except in a handheld device. And it really makes me want to have Sony make a new handheld as well. I feel like the PlayStation Portable is kind of them testing the waters to see if they could make a portable PlayStation again, and hopefully they do, because I feel like Sony does some of their best stuff in the hardware design department when they're actually making handhelds, not home consoles. And don't get me wrong, I own every single PlayStation console and I love them, but there's just something special about Sony handhelds that absolutely always feels so much better than anything else Sony's ever done in my opinion. If you tell me down below what's your favorite piece of PlayStation hardware, I'd be curious. And as we move past this battle here, let's go into our first soundtrack sample, because a lot of things about a port, it not only has to look good and play good, it also has to sound good. So 45 seconds or so, but come back, I'll talk more about the port and other games that could be ported to Vita soon.
Fuck! You're supposed to shoot them all! The enemy's coming from behind! I'll take care of everything below.
Aha! Thought you'd hide from me, eh?
And that sounds exactly like it should, and it definitely sounds great coming out of the Vita hardware. And don't forget, basically every single N64 port that does exist as far as PC ports are concerned could be ported over to Vita, but I've seen some teases on YouTube from different developers, and I feel like maybe Mario Kart 64 is going to be the next one you're playing. We'll have to wait and see. But that really is why all of these decomps are mattering to these overall projects, because when you have a game that's completely decompiled and then ported over to PC, you can then take that and port it to any piece of hardware that you really want. That's why you're seeing all this stuff on PlayStation Vita, and that's why I keep saying this is why retro gaming is making a comeback. There's so many new games that aren't new at all that are playable in better versions than they ever existed back in the day across basically the entire gamut of hardware. And it's one of those things, the more this happens, the more gaming becomes ubiquitous and the more people get to enjoy them. Because think of it this way, even if you don't want to sit down and play Star Fox 64 on a PlayStation Vita, you can play the static recomp or the PC port on your TV and have fun with it. And it really is one of those things. I know a decent amount of you out there have kids. And if you sat them down at an N64 and said, hey, check out Star Fox 64, they might say it looks way too old, runs way too slow, and it's just so old man. Get your nostalgia out of here. I want to play Fortnite. Jokes aside, if you show your kids or younger generations some of these games running as PC ports, even if it is on the Vita as a Vita port, it might not look graphically modern, but it runs fast enough that you can kind of call it a throwback, because honestly, I've seen my nephews play some games on their phones, stuff like Roblox. They absolutely love that game, and obviously that game is ugly as sin in every single way possible. And that really is why these things matter, and I'm glad to see that Vita is getting even more love in 2026, because it truly is one of those things. There's some incredible games for it, but it could have always done more than Sony actually gave it credit for, because I feel like Sony basically said, you know what, we don't really want to be in the handheld business anymore. Yes, we're still supporting Vita, but only as a hardware manufacturer, not bringing a ton of titles to it. And I love this absolutely Independence Day boss fight right here. The only thing it needs is Randy Quaid going to say hello to the aliens, welcome back boys, and we would be good to go. And as we get into the lava level here, everything just looks stunning running on Vita hardware, and this is not an easy lift whatsoever. It's not just porting the code over to something that the Vita CPU and instruction set can understand, it's also getting all of the calls to the GPU as well as the audio hardware correct, because you need to draw the image, and obviously a Vita and an N64 don't have a ton in common when it comes to the actual silicon under the hood. So the fact that this thing works as well as it does, can be played from start to finish, and you'd have no idea that it was a fan port, really is a testament to how good these things are actually doing, and I'd love to see that. You can tell me down below, if you could snap your fingers and make one N64 game run on Vita, which one would it be? I would be curious. Let's do one more soundtrack sample, because again, the audio quality in this port is 10 out of 10 exceptional. I'll be right back to tell you a little bit more about Star Fox 64, how you can play it today, and what other N64 games you might be playing in the future, because I know that at least 2 are in development now. So yeah, Star Fox 64 on PlayStation Vita does exactly what it needs to do, nothing more, nothing less than being a great way to play an absolute classic. Because obviously Nintendo would never release one of their games on the PlayStation Vita back in the day. It's fun that fans have done that. And it's one of those things, the Vita still has a really good hardware set on it, and there is a lot more that can be done with the overall platform. You're going to see more of that as the year goes on. And like I said, I'm pretty sure you're going to be playing some Mario Kart 64 shortly, and I know of at least one more N64 PC port that people are talking about bringing over to the Vita. I don't really want to spoil that. I'm sure you'll find out about it in video form at some point in time. If you want to play this one, the repo is in the description below. You'll have to set it up yourself, but otherwise, it is absolutely a fun time and definitely worth playing. But short of that, hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, but I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.